Hi everyone, I'm Moses Leos, sports editor of the Hayes Free Press and News Dispatch, and this is your Hayes County Sports Roundup for the week of March 4th. Let's lead things off with softball, where the Hayes Lady Rebels and the Lehman Lady Lobos renewed their rivalry on Tuesday night amid soggy conditions at Hayes Lady Rebels softball field. Hayes and Lehman squared off and it was a close game early, but Hayes emerged with an 11-1 run rule victory in 5 innings over Lehman on Tuesday night. Hayes was led by their starting pitcher Nadia Natick, who went 5 innings in the ball game, striking out 6 Lady Lobos and only giving up 1 unearned run. On the flip side, the Lehman Lady Lobos were led by their pitcher Kaylee Whip, who in relief struck out 2 Hayes Rebels. Also staying with softball, let's move on to the western part of Hayes County, where Dripping Springs held their 9th annual Brittany Tuck Memorial Softball Tournament, which they co-host with the Lake Travis Cavaliers. Dripping Springs and Lake Travis both had to cut short their tournament as weather affected it. However, Dripping Springs came through and won 2 games in a row on Thursday, defeating Lehman 12-11, and then coming back later that evening to defeat Incarnate Word 6-3. Moving on to the soccer pitch now, where the Hayes Lady Rebels hosted the Lake Travis Cavaliers on Tuesday night at Shelton Stadium on senior night. Hayes fought off a very tough Lake Travis ball club, having to overcome a 2-goal deficit at one point in the second half, but Lake Travis held off Hayes in the final minute to defeat the Lady Rebels 3-2. Kat Salmarin and Kayla Humphreys both scored goals in that contest. And also in girls soccer on Friday night, the Lehman Lady Lobos played the Del Valley Lady Cardinals at home at Lobo Field. Lehman scored 2 goals in the first 7 minutes of play to defeat the Del Valley Cardinals 2-0 in that ball game. Riley Block had a goal in that contest. And now to boys soccer now, where the Dripping Springs Tigers had a 2-game win streak and had a scoreless streak of 160 minutes going into their game against the Eastview Patriots on Monday night. But both of those streaks came to an end as Eastview defeated Dripping Springs 2-0 in that contest. And also in boys soccer, the Lehman Lobos defeated the Del Valley Cardinals 2-0 on Tuesday. Finally, to boys basketball, where Wimberley and Hayes continue their run in the postseason. Wimberley had their first chance to advance in the playoffs as they took on the Wharton Tigers in the area round, but Wharton proved too much for Wimberley, defeating the Wimberley Texans 55-47 on Friday night, eliminating the Texans from the postseason. Grayson Pate led the Texans with 11 points in that contest. And finally, the Hayes Rebels also look to continue their playoff run this past week. They opened on Friday in the area round against Klein Forest, and they defeated Klein Forest 61-56 at Hearn High School. Hayes advancing to the regional quarterfinal round on Tuesday, but they were up against a stiff opponent in the second-ranked Atascocita Eagles, which they faced off at College Station High School. Hayes fought hard, trying to overcome a fast-paced, up-tempo Atascocita ball club, but Atascocita's speed and pace proved too much for Hayes. Hayes was eliminated by virtue of a 70-52 loss on Tuesday night. The Rebels eliminated in the regional quarterfinal round. Jake Krofka led the way with 20 points for the Rebels, while Carson Edwards was the lone star in the ball game for Atascocita. Hayes had no answer for him. Edwards scored 31 points in the game, 23 of those points in the first half alone. So with that, here are a few other scores from across the area. For an in-depth look at a few of the games from this past week, be sure to pick up a copy of this week's edition of the Hayes Free Press and News Dispatch. You can also view the stories online at hayesfreepress.com and newsdispatchnewspaper.com. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For the Sports Roundup, I'm Moses Leos.